Welcome again. The reason that I've placed in this service the announcement and the joys and sorrows and this homily first in untraditional order is that from this point on, from the end of the homily, when I ring the chime, I am experimenting. I constructed a service that is meant to be an immersive experience, and I want you to engage with it just as you feel drawn to engage with it. The service will move from examining the mind to refocusing awareness to comprehending the Buddhist idea of no self. And I don't want you to worry too much about thinking about those things. This is meant as a respite. It's meant to just be and engage. If you are led through those awarenesses, that's great. If you are just in a space that takes in the sound and music and words and doesn't process them in any particular way, that's okay too. No. We all know that thoughts and emotions arise and they fall out of our control. If they're out of our control, how are they ours? Now, although we don't control them, obviously they exist. We're aware of some thoughts and emotions, and we are completely unaware of others as they flow continuously in our mind. So, what I'd like to do, part of this service, is redirect inward. And by redirecting inward at and toward our mind, we can witness our thoughts and emotions from an outside objective perspective, a new awareness. What the mindfulness teacher Locke Kelly calls local awareness is an awareness outside of ourselves that's physically different. It moves our awareness to another location, has the ability to focus in one area outside of ourselves or in our other places in our bodies. Local awareness can become small, it can expand to a larger area. Local awareness can move up and down to the side, it can become identified or disidentified. See, sometimes, in fact, always, probably our mind, especially now, is like a storm. It's with thunder and lightning and wind and rain of thoughts and emotions. We know this storm exists in our mind. We all feel it right now. So if we imagine moving outside that storm cloud into the open blue sky, now the cloud's still there, but our awareness can enter and exit the cloud freely. We can see better that as tumultuous as that cloud of emotion and thought is, the sky of consciousness is so vast that no storm can actually hurt it. Our mind is just weather that comes and goes. And as we situate outside the mind and into objective awareness of the mind, or as we refocus local awareness to another space altogether, physically distant, we may experience pure consciousness, even fleetingly. I hope we do. Rather than being overwhelmed, though, by powerful thought and emotion, in this state of pure consciousness, from an awareness that is placed outside or above or to the side, we can examine these strong emotions and thoughts rather than being disturbed by them. And when we reflect or objectively witness thoughts and emotions without judgment, defense, reactiveness, when we truly examine them as if we were like another person whispering these things into our own ear, we can know how uselessly critical and fearful these unexamined, unaware reactions that we have of desire and selfishness and attachment and ill will and pride truly are. According to the Buddhist monk Matthew Ricard, thoughts emerge from pure consciousness and are then reabsorbed in it, just as waves emerge from the ocean and dissolve into it again. I ask you not to worry or stress today about achieving any semblance of this if it does not arise naturally. Because even without expertise in resting in pure consciousness or awake awareness, the understandings alone bring us closer to inner peace, to realizing what the Buddhists mean by the true nature of mind, the clear, open sky of awareness. I invite you today to this sensory experience in hopes that you move, however far, toward understanding the true nature of mind, awareness, and what the Buddhists call no self. but don't be pressured. Today is not meant to wrestle with the concept of non-self or any other concept. There may be times when you begin to think critically and hard during this service. It's okay. Don't worry about getting rid of those thoughts. Allow them, observe them, accept that they are there. There may be moments too when you feel strongly, when tears flow, when laughter comes. Allow those emotions to come and go, rise and fall. Observe them, accept them as they are. Do not judge how you are being. Just allow yourself to be, well, however you are drawn to be. With practice, we can find our way home to an open-hearted presence in the midst of whatever arises. And hopefully this is the first step in a practice. Today is about relaxation. Today is just to know that one reason there is no individual self is because we are all together as a collective self. This allows the cultivation of the set of virtues known in the Buddhist tradition as the Brahmaviharas, or in English, the divine states. This is a little theology for you. The divine here in collective community includes benevolence. It includes care. It includes sympathetic joy and impartiality. So today, all I ask is that however you are moved, and I wanted to let you know that we will be present in the service as well. All of the readings are live. I am live right now. There will be recorded music and words, but there also will be a live presence here with you at all times. So however you are moved, relax into awareness, allowing the flow of the service experience to guide your physical, mental, and emotional states. Put simpler, choose to engage as you will, with the only requirement of you from this point on is to just breathe.
Awareness following the breath home. Try hitching a ride on your breath to help
Give up the fight for some other moment, some other life than here and now.
I'm just gonna breathe.
Give up the longing for some other world, the wishing for other choices to make, other songs to sing, other bodies, other ages, other countries, other stakes.
Till I touch the sorrow neath the rage. I'm just gonna breathe.
Purge the past. Forgive the future, for each comes too soon. Surrender only to this life, this one, this moment here and now. Surrender only to this day, this hour, this breath. Not because it does not constantly break your heart, but because it too beckons with beauty, startles with delight. If only we can keep waking up to this gift. This is the gift we have been given. These body clothes, this heartbreak, it's ours. This pulse, it's ours. This breath, this light, these friends, this hope. All we can do is remember ourselves here.
I'm just gonna breathe.
All a part of it all. Still growing together.
I'm just gonna breathe. Until I'm glad to breathe here for a while. We'll give up the thought for some other love. There's hope in the way that you are living. We'll give up the thought for some other love. It's changing, no longer resisting. Come on and breathe, breathe, breathe. Come on and breathe, breathe, breathe. It's gonna breathe, breathe, breathe. Come on and breathe, breathe, breathe. Give up the fight, breathe, breathe. For some other life, breathe, breathe. Give up the fight, breathe, breathe. For some other life, breathe, breathe. I'm just gonna breathe.
Resting in awareness. Look at what is behind the curtain of discursive thought. Try to find a waking presence there, free of mental fabrications, transparent, luminous, untroubled by thoughts of the past, the present, of the future. Try to rest in the present moment, free of concepts. Watch the nature of the gap between thoughts, which is free from mental constructs. Gradually extend the interval between the disappearance of one thought and the emergence of the next. Remain in a state of simplicity that is free of mental constructs, yet perfectly aware, beyond effort, yet alert and mindful. In its true state, consciousness is naked, immaculate, clear, vacuous, transparent, timeless, beyond all conditions. O nobly born, remember the pure open sky of your own true nature. Luminous is consciousness, brightly shining its nature, but it becomes clouded by the attachments that visit it.
First, we conceive of the I and grasp onto it. Then we conceive of the mine and cling to the material world. Like water trapped on a water wheel, we spin in circles, powerless. I praise the compassion that embraces all beings. This erroneous sense of real and independent self is, of course, based on egocentricity, which persuades us that our fate is of far greater value than that of others. If your boss scolds a colleague you hate, berates another one you have no feelings about, or reprimands you bitterly, you will feel pleased or delighted in the first case, indifferent in the second, and deeply hurt in the third. But in reality, what could possibly make the well-being of any one of these three people more valuable than that of the others? The egocentricity that places the self at the center of the world has an entirely relative point of view. Our mistake is in fixing our own point of view and hoping, or worse yet, insisting that our world prevail over that of others.
You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know the way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know, don't have to know. The way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way. You don't have to know, don't have to know. The way knows the way. You don't have to plan the way, trust the way, feel your way. The way knows, the way knows, the way knows the way.
The 18-inch drop from head to heart.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain singing. Calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
I would lose all notion of what my body is Were I to perceive it as a whirlwind of atoms that is never the same for even a millionth of a second. But how quickly I forget that my ordinary perception of my body and of all phenomena is just an approximation of that. In fact, everything is changing at every moment. In clinging to the cramped universe of the ego, we have a tendency to be concerned exclusively with ourselves. The least setback upsets and discourages us. We're obsessed with our success, our failure, our hopes, and our anxieties, and thereby give happiness every opportunity to elude us. The narrow world of the self. Imagine a glass of water into which a handful of salt is thrown. The water becomes undrinkable. If, on the other hand, we breach the barriers of the self and the mind becomes a vast lake, that same handful of salt will have no effect on its taste. Thank you all. I hope this purposeful experience engaged you in ways that were wonderful, in ways that were mysterious, in ways that were good. Everything about it was purposefully planned, from the music to the sound to the color to the visuals. And I'd love for you to talk about in breakout rooms how your body feels, how your mind feels, where you went during the service, and explore awareness in that way. I also want to remind people that you can stay in the main room for the service auction tutorial if you want at 11:30. If you're forced into a breakout room, you can also return to the main session. And with that, I wish you peace.